Thank you all
For
so much for
17
being here
years,
today.
Rachael
It's truly
Ray was on
amazing
your
to see this
TV every
energy.
single weekday.
We're about to dive
She
into
was
something really
inescapable,
special.
2,000 episodes, 37 Emmy nominations, and at her peak, a reported
Hi
salary
everyone,
of
I'm so
$25
excited to show you these
million a
amazing
year.
ingredients. We'll start with
Then,
this one
in
and
2023,
then this. It's going to be
she
delicious. Welcome.
Away
Today
from
we're
all of it,
exploring your taste buds.
no
Look at this
scandal,
chart. Each
no
section
public
represents a
blow-up.
different taste,
She
and we
just
have samples
left.
for each
For a
one.
while,
All right,
that
now
seemed
for the
like
crispy
whole
topping.
story.
Here they come,
But it
hot from the
wasn't.
oven.
Wow,
What came
perfect.
after the health
Looks
scares?
amazing.
Let's
The
dig
viral
in.
videos.
All right, now for the
the
crispy
grief,
topping.
The silence.
Here they come, hot from the oven.
The rumors.
Wow, perfect.
And then the news
Looks
that
amazing.
genuinely
Let's
nobody
dig in.
saw coming.
Wow, look at all these
Turned
amazing gifts.
out to be
I know,
something
it's
much
incredible.
more complicated.
So many
The
surprises.
first
This
sign
one
that
is
something
special.
might.
Welcome
Be
back. We have
often
some
come from a
important updates on the
tabloid
story
or
we
an
were just
insider tip.
discussing. We'll bring
Came
you the
directly
latest
from her own
details right
Instagram
after
in
this short
September
break.
2024.
Just give it a good stir to mix all
She
the
posted
flavors.
a clip from
Now,
her
a quick
FYI
toss
series
to combine
Rachael Ray
everything,
in Tuscany,
and it's ready.
paying tribute to her late friend Tony Bennett by cooking his favorite dish, ossobuco. It should have been a completely normal post. Instead, fans noticed she appeared to be slurring her words. It's not constantly, but enough to make people pause. The comments filled quickly with concern. Within hours, the clip was circulating across Reddit threads and fan forums with the same question, echoing everywhere. What is going on with Rachael Ray? Her team responded with 2 words, no comment. She didn't address it either. She simply reposted another cooking clip days later as if nothing had happened. The silence only made the speculation louder. Then came her podcast. October 22nd, 2024, she launched I'll Sleep When I'm Dead, a long-form interview series she had teased for months. Listeners tuned in, expecting an explanation. She didn't directly mention the viral video, but she did say something that fueled further discussion. While describing her love of physical labor around the house, she casually mentioned she'd had a couple of bad falls in recent weeks. She offered no details. That single sentence became the center of online debate. Fans wondered if the falls explained the speech or if both were symptoms of something more serious. Speculation ranged from medication side effects to neurological conditions. None of it was confirmed. None of it was denied. By May 2025, reports claimed people close to her were concerned and described her as increasingly secluded. Again, no direct response. In a December 2024 podcast episode, she admitted she avoids reading anything about herself online. For someone who had spent nearly 2 decades as one of the most visible figures in American daytime television, her retreat into privacy felt jarring. But to understand why everything after 2023 seems so disorienting, you have to look at what she endured in the years just before leaving her talk show in May 2020. She and her husband, John Cusimano, lost their dog of 15 years, Abu. 3 months later, in August 2020, their home in Lake Luzerne, New York, caught fire while they were inside. A neighbor spotted flames on the roof and alerted them. They escaped safely, but the house was destroyed. The cause was later ruled accidental creosote buildup in the chimney ignited. What they lost went far beyond property: decades of handwritten notebooks, original music, letters, paintings, irreplaceable pieces of their life. She later said they lost a huge part of the physical evidence that we exist. She finished taping her show from the guest house on the property, with her husband operating the camera. Then, in 2021, Hurricane Ida flooded her New York City apartment just after renovations were completed. She described it as the apartment melting. Within roughly a year, she had endured a devastating fire and a flood on top of the pandemic and personal loss. She kept filming through all of it. When she announced in 2023 that she was ending her talk show,
Thank you all so much for being here today.
framed it
It's
as an
truly
evolution.
amazing to see this energy.
Her final
We're about
episode
to
aired
dive into
May
something
24th,
really special.
2023. Messages poured in from figures like Oprah Winfrey, Cameron Diaz, and 50
Hi everyone,
Cent.
I'm so excited to show you
After
these amazing
2,000
ingredients.
episodes
We'll start with
and
this
3
one
daytime Emmy
and then
wins
this.
for
It's
outstanding
going to be
talk show,
delicious. Welcome.
as the
Today
cameras
we're
stopped
exploring your
rolling.
taste buds. Look at this
In
chart.
June
Each section
2025,
represents a different taste,
another blow
and we have
landed.
samples for each one.
Chef
All right,
and
now for the
longtime
crispy
friend
topping.
Anne Burrell
Here they
was
come,
found
hot from the oven.
unresponsive at her
Wow,
Brooklyn home
perfect.
Looks
and later
amazing.
pronounced
Let's
dead at
dig in.
55.
All right, now for the crispy topping.
The two had
Here they come,
co-hosted
hot from the
multiple
oven.
seasons of
Wow,
Worst Cooks in
perfect.
America
Looks amazing.
and shared
Let's
a
dig
deep
in.
personal
Wow, look at all
friendship.
these amazing
Anne had asked
gifts.
I know, it's incredible.
Rachel to be a
So many
bridesmaid at her wedding,
surprises.
something
This
Rachel
one is
said she'd
special.
only done once before
Welcome
for
back.
her
We
own
have some
sister.
important updates on the story
In
we
a
were just
rare,
discussing.
openly emotional
We'll bring you the
tribute,
latest
Rachel
details
wrote that the
right
news
after
had
this short
shaken her
break.
and
Just
described
give it a
Anne
good
as
stir to
vibrant,
mix all the
fearless, and
flavors.
self-ice.
Now, a quick toss to
Full of
combine
life.
everything, and
It
it's
was one
ready.
of the few times in recent years she had publicly shown such raw grief. While rumors about her health continued to circulate, she was quietly building something substantial behind the scenes. After leaving her talk show, she launched Free Food Studios with longtime collaborators, creating a joint venture model that allowed her to own the content she produced. In January 2024, A+E Networks acquired a 50% stake in the company and ordered 278 episodes across various culinary series for A+E and FYI. The volume alone contradicted the narrative of disappearance. She produced shows like Rachael Ray's Meals in Minutes, Rachael Ray in Tuscany, and Rachael Ray's Rebuild for Hulu, drawing directly from her own disaster recovery experiences. By October 2025, an additional order of 110 episodes was announced. Bringing the total close to 400 episodes within 2 years, she also reemerged publicly in October 2025, co-hosting the Blue Moon Burger Bash at the New York City Wine and Food Festival and appearing on The Drew Barrymore Show. She looked energetic and engaged, directly challenging the image painted online. When asked about the pause in her podcast, she joked that she was frustrated with production delays and eager to release recorded episodes. The real uncertainty, however, isn't about her health. It's about business. Around the same time her expanded episode order was announced, reports surfaced that A+E Global Media, the parent company owned by Disney and Hearst, was exploring a potential sale, because Free Food Studios operates as a joint venture with A+E. Any ownership change could directly affect the structure she built to secure independence and creative control. She hasn't publicly commented on the sale discussions, whether the potential change represents risk, opportunity, or simply another shift to navigate remains unclear. Rachael Ray is not disappearing. She isn't hiding.
Yes.
She isn't collapsing in the way online speculation once suggested, but she is navigating a period defined by private grief, public scrutiny, creative reinvention, and corporate uncertainty. The irony is unmistakable. She stepped away from a long-running talk show to gain control, built a company to own her work, secured a massive production deal, and now finds the network supporting it, potentially up for sale. This chapter of her life is not about scandal. It's about resilience, reinvention, and the reality that even carefully built foundations can shift beneath you. Without warning, if there is a single thread running through everything that has happened to Rachael Ray since 2023, it's this: the public narrative rarely matches the private reality. Online, the story became about slurred words and mysterious falls. In tabloids, it became about isolation. But behind the scenes, her life has looked less like disappearance and more like recalibration.
Thank you all so much for
The
being
shift
here
from a
today. It's
daily
truly amazing
syndicated
to
talk
see this
show
energy.
to
We're about
ownership
to
of a
dive into
production
something
company
really special.
isn't a small pivot. For 17 years, her schedule was relentless, 5 days a week, year after year.
Hi everyone, I'm so excited
Under
to
the
show you these
pressure of
amazing
ratings,
ingredients. We'll
affiliates,
start with this one
advertisers,
and then this.
and the
It's going to
constant
be
churn of
delicious.
daytime
Welcome.
television.
Today we're exploring your taste
Walking
buds.
away from
Look
that
at this
structure
chart.
meant
Each section
stepping into
represents a
something
different taste,
far
and we have
less
samples for
predictable.
each one.
Instead
All
of
right,
being
now
the
for the
face of
crispy
a
topping.
machine,
Here they
she
come,
became
hot
one
from
of
the
people
oven.
building it.
Wow, perfect.
That kind
Looks
of
amazing.
transition is
Let's
quieter.
dig in. All right,
It
now
doesn't
for the
generate
crispy
the daily
topping.
visibility
come,
that
hot from the
audiences are
oven.
used to.
Wow,
And when
perfect.
visibility
amazing.
drops,
Let's dig in.
speculation
Wow, look
fills
at all
the
these
space.
amazing gifts.
The
I
move
know, it's
between
incredible.
upstate
So many
New York and
surprises.
Tuscany
This one is special.
also changed how
Welcome
often
back. We have
she's
some
physically
important updates
seen
on
in
the story we were
American
just
media
discussing.
ecosystem.
We'll bring you the latest details
Rachael Ray
right
in
after this
Tuscany
short
wasn't
break.
just a
Just
show,
give it a good
it
stir to
reflected
mix
how
all the flavors.
She was
now,
actually
a
living
quick toss to
splitting
combine
time
everything,
between the rebuilt
and it's
Lake
ready.
Luzerne home and her Italian property in Sartiano. That slower, more seasonal lifestyle contrasts sharply with the pace of New York studio tapings. To viewers accustomed to daily appearances, less frequent visibility can feel like absence. Even when it's not, there's also the emotional weight of cumulative loss. The fire in 2020 didn't just destroy a house, it erased decades of tangible memory. The flood in 2021 compounded that instability. Ending her talk show in 2023 closed a professional chapter that had defined nearly half her adult life. And the sudden death of Anne Burrell in 2025 added another layer of grief. None of those events alone explain the internet's concern. Together, they sketch the outline of someone who has been absorbing impact after impact while still working at a high level. What complicates everything is that Rachael has never fit neatly into the celebrity vulnerability cycle. She doesn't post long confessionals. She doesn't regularly clarify rumors. She has openly said she avoids reading about herself online. In a culture where silence is often interpreted as confirmation, that approach can unintentionally intensify speculation. But silence can also be a boundary. Professionally, the coming months may prove more consequential than any viral clip. If A+E Global Media does move forward with a sale, the ripple effects could reshape the infrastructure supporting free food studios. A new owner might double down on lifestyle programming. They might pivot toward entirely different priorities. Because her company operates as a joint venture, any structural change at the network level has implications. That doesn't mean collapse. It means negotiation, adaptation, and possibly reinvention again. And reinvention has always been part of her career. Before the talk show, she was known for 30-minute meals. Before that, she was a grocery store buyer teaching quick cooking classes. Each leap carried risk. Leaving a long-running, highly profitable daytime platform may have seemed shocking from the outside. But in the broader arc of her life, it follows a pattern. Build something, master it, then move before it calcifies. The most recent public appearances in late 2025 suggest someone very much engaged cooking live. It's joking about production delays, interacting comfortably with peers. That doesn't erase the concerns people felt watching that September 2024 clip. It doesn't answer every question about the falls she mentioned, but it reframes the conversation. The story isn't one of sudden collapse, it's one of complexity. There is uncertainty ahead. Corporate restructuring is unpredictable. Media landscapes shift quickly. Personal grief doesn't resolve on a timetable. But what's clear is that the simplified narrative she left, something is wrong, she vanished, doesn't hold up under scrutiny. What actually happened is more layered. A woman who endured fire, flood, loss, and burnout chose ownership.
Thank you all so much for
Over
being here today.
routine,
It's truly amazing
privacy,
to see this energy.
over constant
We're about to
exposure,
dive into something
and
really
reinvention
special.
over repetition. Whether that gamble pays off long-term depends on forces partly
Hi
outside
everyone,
her
I'm so
control.
excited to show you these amazing
But if the
ingredients.
past few
We'll start with
years
this
prove
one
anything,
and then this. It's going to be
that
delicious.
rebuilding
Welcome.
literally
Today
and
we're exploring your
professionally
taste buds.
is something
Look at
she
this
already
chart.
knows how
Each
to
section
do,
represents a different
and there's
taste,
one
and we have samples for
more
each one.
piece to
All right,
this
now
that
for the
often
crispy
gets
topping.
overlooked when
Here
people
they
try
come,
to
hot from
compress
the
her
oven.
story into a
Wow,
headline
perfect.
for
Looks
nearly
amazing.
2
Let's
decades.
dig in. All right, now for the crispy
Rachael
topping.
Ray wasn't just a
Here they come,
television
hot from the
host.
oven.
Wow,
She was a
perfect.
daily habit.
Looks amazing.
Let's
Viewers
dig in.
built
Wow,
routines
look at all
around
these
her.
amazing gifts.
She was
I
on in
know, it's
kitchens,
incredible.
while
So
people
many
prepped dinner
surprises.
in
This one
living
is
rooms
special.
during sick days.
Welcome back. We have some
On in
important
the
updates on the
background of
story we were just
ordinary
discussing.
afternoons.
We'll bring you
When
the
someone
latest
becomes
details
that
right after this
consistent,
short break.
their
Just give it a
absence
good stir to
feels
mix all the
personally bent
flavors.
if it's
Now, a
professional.
quick toss to combine everything.
So when the show
and
ended
it's
in
ready.
2023, it wasn't just a programming change. It was the removal of something familiar. That emotional gap made every unusual clip, every rumor, every delayed podcast episode feel amplified. The audience that had grown used to 5 appearances a week was suddenly interpreting months of quiet as something ominous. But stepping away from daily television also removes something else: the pressure to perform wellness. Daytime TV is an ecosystem built on brightness, energy, reliability. Even on hard days, the show goes on. For years, she showed up through grief, through disaster recovery, through exhaustion. Ending that cycle may not have been about crisis at all. It may have been about sustainability. Her new model, owning free food studios, developing talent, producing hundreds of episodes instead of personally fronting every hour shifts her. From constant on-camera presence to strategic control, that's a different kind of visibility, less personality-driven, more infrastructure-driven. Done. And infrastructure doesn't trend on social media the way facial expressions do. There's also the reality of aging in public. When someone has been on television for 17 straight years, every change in voice, posture, or cadence is scrutinized. But change is inevitable. Cameras preserve a version of you that viewers mentally freeze in time. When you deviate from that snapshot, people search for explanations. Sometimes those explanations are dramatic. Sometimes they're wrong. None of this dismisses the fact that fans were genuinely concerned. Concern doesn't come from nowhere. Concern can coexist with incomplete information. Incomplete information often leads to narratives that Fill in blanks with worst-case assumptions. Right now. Her story sits at a crossroads defined less by mystery and more by transition. The potential sale of A+E Global Media could alter the terrain of her business partnership. The expansion order of new episodes shows institutional confidence in her production pipeline. Her public appearances show engagement rather than retreat. Her grief over Anne Burrell shows vulnerability rather than detachment. What makes this chapter feel uncertain isn't scandal. It's evolution. She is no longer the daily talk show anchor tied to a rigid syndication schedule. She's a producer navigating corporate shifts. She's a wife splitting time between continents. She's someone who has endured very real personal losses in a compressed span of years. She's also someone who continues to create, cook, film, and build. The internet tends to flatten stories into extremes: fine or failing, thriving or collapsing. Real life rarely operates at those poles. It unfolds in gradients: fatigue and ambition, grief and productivity, uncertainty and momentum all existing at once. So what happens next depends on variables still in motion. If A+E changes ownership, contracts will be reviewed.
Thank you all so much for
Madres in
being here
May.
today. It's truly
Shift.
amazing to see this energy.
She may pivot again.
We're about to dive into something
If the
really
podcast
special.
resumes consistently, it could open a more direct channel to her audience. If it doesn't,
Hi
that may
everyone,
simply
I'm so
reflect
excited to show you
bandwidth
these amazing
choices rather
ingredients.
than
We'll start with
crisis.
this one and then
What's
this.
clear
It's
is
going to be
this.
delicious. Welcome.
The version
Today
of
we're
her story
exploring your
built
taste
purely
buds.
on
Look at
viral
this chart.
clips
Each
missed
section
the bigger
represents a
arc.
different taste.
The
And we have
past few
samples
years
for
have
each
been
one.
less
All
about
right, now for the
disappearance
crispy
and more
topping.
about
Here they come, hot from the oven.
restructuring,
Wow,
emotionally,
perfect.
professionally,
Looks amazing.
and
Let's dig in.
geographically.
All right, now for the crispy
And
topping.
perhaps the most
Here
telling
they come, hot
detail
from
is
the oven.
this.
Wow, perfect.
Every time
Looks
something is
amazing.
burned
Let's
down,
dig in.
literally
Wow, look at
or
all these
figuratively,
amazing gifts.
she has
I know,
rebuilt.
it's incredible. So many
Not always
surprises.
loudly.
This one is special.
Not always publicly.
Welcome back. We have some important
but
updates on the story we
consistently.
were just discussing.
That
We'll bring you
doesn't
the latest
eliminate
details
uncertainty.
right after this short break.
It doesn't
Just give it a
promise
good
smooth
stir to
sailing.
mix all the flavors.
But it does
now,
suggest
a quick
that
toss to
whatever
combine everything.
the next chapter looks
and it's
like
ready.
will be written by someone who has already proven she knows how to start over without announcing that she's doing it.